Yo, what's up guys? This is Wormpal, the coach of the Stavanger Vikingvolts, and welcome to my week 4 team builder for season 2 of the GCL. This week we are playing against DancingJoker, who is the coach of the Salem Simians. You can see his team there on the right. His team members are Mew, Alolan Ninetales, Mega Tyranitar, Raikou, Hippowdon, Celebi, Lucario, Gudra, Fortress, Houndoom, Jellicent, Slurpuff, and the Normalium Sea Crystal, which he can use on pretty much every single Pokemon because there are so many normal status moves. So I haven't even looked at what moves he could bring. But yeah, the things I am most worried about on his team is actually not like his offensive Pokemon, or they are scary too, like the Mega Tyranitar for example, but I am most worried about like the really defensive Pokemon he has. For example, the Hippowdon and the Fortress. I think those two and maybe some others will be really annoying to deal with. So yeah, I'm gonna try to make this video pretty short because it's pretty late. So let's just start talking about my team. My first Pokemon is Cofagrigus, the final Pokemon on my team that hasn't been in a game yet. So now we have used all the Florida Pokemon. The first thing I noticed when I looked at DancingJoker's team is that he really lacks hazard removal. I believe the only hazard removal he gets is Defog on Mew and Rapid Spin on Fortress, and Cofagrigus is a ghost type, so if I switch this in against his Fortress, he cannot spin the rocks away. That's why I'm bringing a lot of hazards this week. And he also does not have a poison type, so he has no way of getting rid of toxic spikes that way. We have toxic spikes, Shadow Ball, Haze, and Pain Split. Leftovers, max HP, max defense, bold nature. This, other than a toxic spike setter, this can function really well as a switch into some of his setup sweepers. Like if the Mew tries to set up some coal mines, for example, I can switch this in, hit it super effectively with a Shadow Ball or just Haze and get rid of its stat boosts. I can also Pain Split if I get too low health. And in case he gets off a Belly Drum with his Slurpuff, this Cofagrigus can switch in against the Slurpuff and just shut it down because I have the Mummy ability. So whenever he makes contact with my Cofagrigus, he will lose his Unburden ability. Maybe I just let Cofagrigus die then, and then I switch into something like my Greninja, for example, that can outspeed and kill the Slurpuff. And that's Cofagrigus. Next Pokemon is Mamoswine. Another thing I noticed about his team is that he really doesn't have any good ground type switch-ins. He doesn't have a single flying type and no Pokemon with the Levitate ability. And the only ground resist he has is the Celebi, which is weak to ice, so I don't think he would switch that in against my Mamoswine anyways. So I'm pretty free to just click Earthquake on anything. Also, like the Hippowdon would normally take an Earthquake pretty well, but Hippowdon is also weak to ice, so I don't think he would switch that in. So Fortress is pretty much the only Pokemon that can like safely switch into my Mamoswine. And then I have knockoff for Pokemon like that, for the Fortress, and maybe the Mew. Maybe the Ninetales get rid of its like Light Clay. Knockoff is always a useful utility move. Then I also have Toxic for my last move, just to put a timer on some of his defensive Pokemon like the Hippowdon. Would be very nice to Toxic in case I don't get my Toxic spikes up or he gets rid of them. Then I have Choice Scarf with 184 speed EVs that allows me to outspeed everything on his team, including the Raikou, unless it is scarfed. So Mamoswine will most likely be like the cleaner of the game. Yeah, then I just put 252 EVs in attack and an adamant nature to hit as hard as possible, and the rest of the EVs in HP. Next Pokemon is Heatran. We are running Grass UMC. Solar Beam, Earth Power, Lava Plume, and Stealth Rock. Grass UMC with a Solar Beam allows me to hit the Balloon Doom with base 190 power. Hits the Mega Tyranitar super effectively, also good against the Hippowdon or the Jellicent, which would otherwise wall me pretty well. Then I of course have a Lava Plume for stab, also a pretty good move, chance to burn. Stealth Rock because I already said he has not a lot of hazard removal. And last move, I was debating whether or not I wanted Earth Power or Flash Cannon. Flash Cannon was to hit the Alolan Ninetales and Slurpuff for super effective damage, but since I can already hit the Ninetales with Lava Plume, I thought I would rather have Earth Power so that I can hit Raikou and Houndoom in case he brings that, which I don't think he will. So yeah, pretty basic set. 252 EVs in special attack, 208 EVs with a timid nature. I believe that allows me to outspeed max speed Mega Tyranitar. And then I put the rest of the EVs in HP. Next Pokemon is Greninja. I don't really have a very good explanation of why I am bringing Greninja, other than the fact that it's just such a good Pokemon, and I think I will probably bring it like every single week from now on, because it's just such a good Pokemon. It gets coverage for everything. This week I'm running Dark Pulse, Low Kick, Gunk Shot, and Hybrid Pump with a Life Orb ability. Life Orb item to hit harder, and I believe I can hit everything super effectively except for the Gudra, the Gudra, the Fortress, and I believe the Raikou. So yeah, I hit everything else for super effective damage. And since I have a Life Orb, the Protein ability, and max special attack, most of those Pokemon will actually just die to my Greninja. I have 200 speed EVs and a naive nature, so I outspeed Raikou and everything else that is not scarfed. So yeah, and the rest of the EVs in attack. Let's move on. Next Pokemon is Rotom. This is a pretty bad set actually. I have Scope Lens, which is just a bad item. Raises my critical hit ratio by 1 stage. So I believe all my attacks have a 12.5% chance to crit. So it's not a good item, but the only reason I'm bringing Scope Lens is because I know that DancingJoker just absolutely loves critical hits. So hopefully we can get some critical hits off on him. But for the moves, I am learning like a pretty utility Rotom with Flea Storm, Volt Switch, Defog, and Will-O-Wisp. I have defog because he has quite a lot of rockers, stealth rockers. Will-O-Wisp to burn something like the Mega Tyranitar, for example. That is also what I have speed trapped with my speed EVs. Volt Switch to get momentum, and the Leaf Storm just to hit something hard, like the Powder, for example. Then I put 252 EVs in HP to make it be able to take hits pretty well, and just the rest of the EVs and the Modest Nature in special attack. And last Pokemon is also maybe a pretty bad one, Mega Altaria, with Return, Dragon Dance, Cotton Guard, and Roost. Max HP, max special defense. Well, the reason I am bringing both Dragon Dance and Cotton Guard is because I just want to try out some cool stuff. It's not the most competitive league. At least I am here mostly just to have like fun. I have Cotton Guard to boost my defense by 3 stages, and I think after I get the Cotton Guard off, or maybe 2, I think I can like outstall everything with Roost, except for if they have Toxic for me. I mean, if they Toxic me, because I don't have Heal Bell, so this Altaria set just completely dies to Toxic. But the reason I think this set is better now in this week than normally is because I'm only running 1 attack, which is Return, and my opponent's team doesn't really have a lot of good switch-ins to a fairy type attack. I think Fortress is the only fairy resist he has. So I think as long as I either get rid of the Fortress or weaken it a lot, I think this Altaria set might actually be able to do pretty well. But I think I do also want to take the Hippowdon pretty low as well, because that thing also walls me pretty well and can maybe Toxic me or Roar me. But yeah, that is the team we are bringing this week. For the 6 Pokemon I think he will bring, I haven't really thought a lot about it, but I'm gonna say Mew, Hippowdon, Fortress, Raikou probably, maybe the Lucario. I think he will run Scarf Lucario to outspeed some of my fast Pokemon. And for last Pokemon, probably make it Tyranitar, I'm gonna guess. But yeah, that is our team. Hope you enjoyed the video. I am playing DancingJoker in an hour or something. So I will see you in that video. Go check out DancingJoker's YouTube channel. Really cool guy, makes amazing videos. So link to his channel is in the description. But until next time, goodbye.